Hello there, Vanagon addicts. It's Ken Wilford here at Vanagon. We are here to answer your burning Vanagon questions, and we're here to meet up with you guys online. I appreciate everybody that can make it out to the stream today. Be glad to talk to you about anything Vanagon related that you're going through with your van. It's that time of the summer when people are busy using their vans instead of buying parts, and I'm happy that they're out there doing that. Again, if you guys need anything from us, please let us know. Be glad to help you guys out. But I hope for the most part that you are enjoying the summer, having as much fun as possible. It's good to see Steve DeRuiter in here. And hopefully some of you other folks can come into the chat and say hi when you're here. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to talk about today is the cost of shipping. The cost of shipping. So shipping is a part of everything that we buy. It has to be shipped. Okay, and just recently there has been a bunch of different things going on. I figured I would share it with you guys because maybe you're not aware of it. So in the USPS, okay, so that's the post office, there is a new method of shipping called ground advanced. Okay, ground advanced, and this is a shipping method that is supposed to be in between, like you're shipping something with the slow snail mail and priority mail. Okay, so ground advanced, it's usually about $5. It's usually best for like small items and stuff like that. But you're going to see a lot of the items that you're buying on eBay and you're going to be buying through online things, you're going to get sent ground advanced. Okay, so this is all part of the Postal Service's thing of trying to break even on money. Okay, the Postal Service has been in the negative for many years, and there's been a bunch of people who have tried to solve this problem. The latest guy that's working there was actually appointed by President Donald Trump. And at the time when he was appointed, people didn't like him. They said he was terrible. He was a horrible ogre because, Donald Trump. And even during the 2020 election, Democrats accused him of trying to help mess up the election by taking post office box things off of the street, like the public ones, taking them off the street, and I don't know, putting them someplace where those poor people that were going to do mail-in votes couldn't do it or whatever. But that wasn't true. If you have been around our political cycle for any length of time, 99% of the stuff that the different parties, things accuse each other of is either not true or mostly not true or whatever. So, he has been trying, I believe, pretty honestly, to take an actual look at the post office, try to fix the problems, try to stop the bleeding, so that the post office, instead of being a negative, which is what it is now, hopefully it will become at least breaking even. Right? I mean, it's a public service, so it might never be something that makes money, but at least it's not going to be billions of dollars in the negative. And so I think that's a good goal. So part of his thing is trying transitioning the post office from handling mail, which that's the thing that actually was what it was made for initially, right? Letters, bills, all that stuff. transition from that, since, you know, people that are under 65 don't really use it for that anymore, to where, you know, it's handling mostly packages. Okay, so he's been trying to streamline it for that. So all of this, you know, blather I'm giving you. So you have this new type of shipping, okay, ground advanced. I would say try to take advantage of that if you can. But one of the other things that's happened is they have decided packages over a certain length. Okay, so longer packages. I would say anything over about maybe 12 inches, 18 inches, they are going to be charging extra charge on those. Okay, so I mean, I have seen some crazy things in the post office in my day. When my friend was restoring a 944 Porsche, we needed a new gas tank. We needed a good used gas tank for it. So I got a hold of a guy down in Maryland, and he sent us up a gas tank, a good used gas tank, and it's a plastic gas tank, and all he did was slap a priority mail label on the outside of the bare gas tank and mailed it to us. And guess what? It came here. Okay, and totally fine. Everything was fine with it. Came here, and it wasn't expensive to send it because the post office at the time was losing money and they didn't care. So therefore, if you're gonna in for a penny, in for a pound, just lose all the money you can lose. And you know, that was the good old days of the post office, that you could ship weird crap, you could ship big things, and it wasn't going to cost you that much money. Nowadays, okay, if you're within, like I said, if 18 inches or smaller, you're probably going to be doing pretty good with the post office. It's still going to be a good value. Okay, it's still going to be something that you can use and it won't destroy you. But going forward, anything over 18 inches, it's a better deal to send it UPS. Okay, UPS. So I'm just discussing this with you guys because I've been having people lately, they have been questioning our shipping charges on our site. Now let me say something to you about shipping with us, which is you're looking at the shipping department. Okay, you're looking at the shipping department. I handle pretty much everything. My daughter does help. Today she was here for half a day, and she is here Monday, Wednesday, Friday. She helps. Okay, but I'm pretty much everything. Take the orders, do emails, do chats, do package things up, ship things out. Okay, I have to charge for shipping. Okay, I have to charge for shipping. I am not Walmart. I'm not Amazon. Okay, I don't have robots that can get stuff off the shelf and send stuff. I have to charge for shipping. When I charge for shipping, I try to be fair. Sometimes the shipping is a little bit more, like, than what I charged. If it's just a few dollars, I will just eat it and absorb it. Sometimes another person's shipping is less. Most of the time, I just go ahead and keep that money because I know that there's going to be other people that don't get charged enough, and so it's kind of like paying it forward. Okay? Now, if somebody says, hey, you know, the shipping is way too much, and can you help me out? I'll try to help them out if I can. Okay? But I'm just letting you guys know that shipping costs are going to be increasing as time is moving forward. The post office, like I said, is getting, rearranged. That's for the good, so that, hopefully they won't be in the negative. But also UPS. Okay, so now, I don't know if you guys read this recently. Let me shout out to everybody that's been in the chat. I'll shout them. Got Chuck out here. Good to have Chuck with us. He's in Delaware. Good to have German Metal Mania. Wow. Almost sounds like WrestleMania. He's there. Thank you for coming out. Shiloh Strong, he's saying hi from Santa Monica, and I hope that you are having a great time out there. I heard there is possibly a hurricane heading towards Southern California, so that's weird. Hope everybody stays safe out there. Alright, so let's get back to what I'm trying to talk about, which is shipping. UPS. Okay, they almost had a strike. Okay, they almost had a strike recently. I was a little scared about that. Beginning of August was supposed to be when the strike would start. Instead, Teamsters and UPS reached a settlement where a UPS driver who is full-time, okay, is now going to be making $175,000 a year. Now, you know, I'll probably have UPS drivers give me mean messages about how that's not right. You know, they're not going to make that much. It's only these certain particular guys. I don't know. This is just, I've read about this to some level. I'm not a UPS expert as far as their you know, hierarchies or whatever. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing, which is now that UPS has done this. Okay, and again, UPS drivers, I mean, they were with us during the pandemic. These other drivers, these postal workers, was with us during the pandemic. You know, I believe they should be paid whatever they can get paid. They worked really hard, and you know, at that time, they got a lot of crap from people and the company. Now, if they're going to get paid, I say go for it. But a UPS driver is making $175,000 a year. Guess where that money is going to come from? Just take a wild guess. Okay, now the post office, they're rearranging stuff. Again, that's all of us is paying for that. UPS, who's going to pay for that? It's going to be UPS customers, which again is all of us. So expect in the next 6 months to a year, okay, shipping costs are going to go up. Okay, and it's not anything that I can control. I'm going to try to keep my stuff as low as I can, but expect that. Okay, expect that. Now, let me talk to you about some other stuff. So, let me give you guys some pointers. Okay, there are people that contact me all the time about where is my package? Is my package coming? Is my package here? Is my package there? Okay, and I try to put a thing on the site. We have a thing on the site that just order status and whatnot. But to be honest with you, sometimes I'm drop shipping stuff to try to get it there faster to you so that you have it and you can put it on your van. Okay, and that's my main concern, is getting you your parts as fast as possible so that you can have them and you can do whatever you want with them. Some people call me 2 years later, hey, I got this and it's been sitting here for 2 years. That's on you. Okay, my thing is getting it to you as fast as possible. So sometimes I'll drop ship. Okay, and it's kind of involved for me to like do that and then go back to my supplier and say, hey, can I get a tracking number for this? Okay, give it to this person, blah blah blah. It's kind of a hassle. Okay, to be honest. And so I'm going to give you guys some ways, if you haven't did this before, okay, that you can do a few things that are free, okay, to be able to get notifications when packages are inbound. Okay, packages are inbound. One of the things you can do is you can sign up for this thing with the United Postal Service, with USPS, okay, and it is called USPS Informed Delivery. Okay, USPS Informed Delivery. And so what that is if you go on USPS.com, you have to start an account, okay, with your name, your personal address, okay, and they will send you a piece of mail in the mail that has a code on it. You type that in. Once you get it, you go back online, type that in. After you set up USPS Informed Delivery, every day you get an email. And in that email, it actually has pictures of all your mail, all your letters that are coming, any bills, anything like that. You have an actual scanned picture of it. And you also see packages that are even 2, 3, 4 days out that are coming and where it's coming from. Okay, so I would highly recommend anybody here that gets packages all the time, which is pretty much all of us, right? Sign up for USPS Informed Delivery. It is amazing. It sends you this email every day so that you can see exactly what packages are coming in. Then that way, you know, oh, so I'm getting a package from this place, this place, this place, this place. Instead of having to deal with all of those, tracking things and email things, you get a notification in email once a day. Okay, so that's just a piece of advice. I've been using that for a while now. Works great. Okay, and if you go on USPS's website or just Google search it, okay, you can sign up for it free, completely free. Okay, another thing you can do is there are actually similar programs with UPS and also FedEx. Okay, so if you sign up for these programs with UPS and FedEx, again, completely free. Okay, whenever you're getting a package from UPS, whenever you're getting a package from FedEx, whenever you're getting a package from the post office, right? And then, of course, Amazon, they text you and stuff anyway. So you would have basically a way, you have like a superpower, okay? You would have a way to see when packages are coming from, you could be getting emails from UPS, you'd be getting emails from FedEx, you'd be getting an email from the post office saying, hey, guess what? Today, your packages are coming, and this or next couple of days, and just FYI. I mean, it's like having your own, package butler. Okay, so I strongly recommend any of you guys out there and ladies that have, you're always worried about your packages. Where are my packages? I don't know. Did I get it? Did I not get it? Sign up for these programs. They're all free. One of them is on USPS.com. One of them is on UPS.com, and one of them is on FedEx.com. The UPS one and the FedEx one just take a couple minutes, and you don't have to do anything to confirm your actual address, except just sign up. The USPS one, you do have to get a piece of mail from them, and then put a code in. It's pretty easy. All right, so that's my kind of sort of rant about shipping and the state of things, the state of shipping. I see we got Joe from Flagstaff is here, just saying hi to him. And then also Jose Rodriguez says hi. Good to have them with us. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, does anybody have a question about their Vanagon or something going on with their Vanagon right now? So I did have some situations happen with our website. I'm just going to keep talking. So if you put questions in the chat, I'll change the subject and talk about them. So recently, we have moved our website over to a new host. It is called DigitalOcean. Okay, and it is a lot faster. It is a lot more stable than our old host that we had, which was HostGator. Okay, so if you see any problems with the new site, sometimes what's going on is people have been looking at our site and they were actually looking at the old one, and because you have to update cookies or whatever, they're having some problems with it. But if you have a problem on our site and you're having broken links, or you're having a problem ordering, it could just need to clear cookies on your browser. That should fix it. Okay, because the new one is doing great. The old one with HostGator, it was going down. It was going down a lot, and I had to constantly keep trying to get it fixed. And that actually reminds me of something. So I will tell you one more thing about shipping. This is a cautionary tale. Okay, so strap on your seatbelts, kids, because this is a bumpy ride. So I do a ton of shipments coming in from overseas. Okay, just a lot. And for whatever reason, most of them come in via FedEx. Okay, so FedEx is just, Oh my gosh, they really have cornered the market on a lot of the stuff coming in. I do sometimes get stuff with DHL, but FedEx is the main one. Okay, yeah. Let me just answer this question from Mike real quick. So he says, thanks for the chat. Any advice on non-functioning AC in an 85 Vanagon? Parts seem to be harder to get in general. I mean, you're kind of right in a way. The compressor is harder to get, and some of the other stuff. I can get the dryer and expansion valve no problem. They're pretty easy to get. The compressor itself is kind of a pain because they had this two fittings were the exact same size or whatever on the original one. But if you need something, let me know. I can probably still come up with one of those. But my advice would probably be that if you're serious about getting it fixed, you can buy a Sandin compressor that's pretty much like generic. And the only difference you're going to see is that the two fittings on the back are going to be a different size. So then you would want to get some new hoses made, which I would highly recommend. 85 AC hoses are pretty much most likely original. Get some new hoses made up, and when you get that done, you get the fittings to match the new compressor. And then guess what? Your life is going to be a lot easier. Then if you need to ever buy another new compressor, you can just get one off the shelf. You know, Sandin compressors are the ones they have in the Vanagon are pretty much just the generic Sandin compressor. And if you get the one that's got the two different size fittings on the back, I mean, you can get them pretty much anywhere. So it makes your life a lot easier. And then I said the dryer and the expansion valve, they're also really generic, so they're actually super easily available. So I mean, the biggest issue would be getting the compressor, and then getting, if you needed like an evaporator. I have a company that most likely could make a new evaporator for it, but they would need the old one as a guide. So I have that, and then as far as the condenser goes, I actually have those already on my site as like a generic condenser that's got way more capacity than the 85. So yeah, Mike, if you need anything AC wise, just email me, and we can work it out. Okay. All right. So let me get back to this situation I'm going to tell you about. So FedEx Customs. Okay, this is the place I've had the problem with. FedEx Customs. And so FedEx Customs, what happens is you get parts from overseas. Okay, I was getting so many shipments, like multiple shipments a month, 3 or 4 big shipments. Okay, and I was having problems with the customs department. The customs department would delay shipments because they didn't know how to categorize things on a very regular basis. 1 or 2 shipments a month would get delayed by a couple weeks just because the customs agents seemed like they didn't know what they're doing. They seemed like that they were badly trained. They seemed like they were overwhelmed by too much work and not enough people. And just basically all of those things. Okay, so, and this, I'm talking about customs agents in Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, so I have gotten some shipments from FedEx from Asia. When it comes through Asia, it goes through California FedEx customs agents. Fast, no problems, smooth. Get a phone call from them. Ken, what's this stuff? Tell them over the phone. They're like, okay, wham, bam, and it's here. Okay, just to be honest with you. Memphis, Tennessee, that is FedEx's headquarters. Okay, that is their hub on the East Coast. If I get stuff from Europe, it goes through Memphis, Tennessee, and I have had so much problems and delays. But that's not what I'm going to talk about. Okay, that's a whole other subject. They lost a shipment one time from $3,000 worth of parts after it went through customs. They lost it on the dock somehow, and I didn't get it for like 3 months later. After that, don't ask me where it was. Okay, but that's not even the bad part. This is just all, that's all just fun and games. Okay, compared to what really happened. So you guys know a few months ago I'm down in Belize. I'm putting a motor in for my friend. and just hanging out and having fun times. Okay, and so I get a phone call from FedEx, like their credit department. So now, when I get all these packages, because I get so many, and the customs comes in, and customs for a shipment is $40, $50. Okay, I mean, I don't want to have to like pay those bills individually. It just takes extra time. So I set up my credit card with FedEx to automatically pay those customs charges, because normally $45, $50, $60. That's pretty much it. Okay. So I get this phone call from FedEx Customs. Now, I'm in Belize. I don't really have a way to call them, or even I'm not picking up phone calls down there because, I'm in another country. Okay, I'm supposed to be on vacation. So this person called me. Oh, Mr. Wilford, do you, owe FedEx money? Please take care of this situation. Blah blah blah. I'm like, what are they talking about? Right? The thing's set up to auto pay. Next thing I see, I have notifications on my phone about when people try to use my credit card. Okay. And, a charge was attempted to be ran on my card. Take a wild guess how much customs and duties charges this was. I will give you a moment. Do you guess $500? Do you guess $1,000? Do you guess $5,000? Do you guess $10,000? Please make your guess. And I'll wait for people to guess. If they want to guess in the chat, I'll wait a minute. Alright, nobody's guessing, so I'm going to continue. So, if you guessed any of those, you would be wrong. Okay? I get a attempted charge on my card for $23,000. Okay? $23,000 for a customs charge, a duty charge, on an order that was $3,000 worth of parts and items. Okay? So, this begins a descent into madness that lasts for months. Okay, this begins a descent into madness that lasts for months, where FedEx is about 2 or 3 times a week trying to run my card for $23,000 to pay this customs and duty charge on a $3,000 order. Then, and I'm away on vacation, so thankfully my card, which was actually fully paid off at the time, only had an upper limit of $21,000. So I'm like, dang, if they weren't like a little bit less greedy, right, this money would have went through. So I'm like, you know what? I don't even know what this craziness is about. When I get back, I will deal with it. So we get back from Belize, and like I said, it becomes months of back and forth. So apparently what happened was FedEx Customs, whoever this agent was, I had the person's name here if I needed to give it. I'll probably get sued for this from FedEx after this situation, but this all happened. Okay, an agent crossed some wires somehow in his typing. She was typing. Like I said, a lot of these agents, they seem like they either are very inexperienced or super overwhelmed with work. Okay, so or both. So this agent was looking at my paperwork. Maybe he took a coffee break or something. Then he also was looking at another piece of paperwork for this computer company in South Dakota, who has a completely different name than mine, no different address, different everything, that had bought I think it was like $80,000 worth of computer parts from China. Okay, and so because of the whole China tariff thing, the tariff on $80,000, or it was a lot of money, of computer parts from China was $23,000. Okay, so this guy had typed in my tracking number. It was coming from France, from this company that I was dealing with. Blah blah blah. All my stuff was in the part that basically where you're going to pay, who's going to pay it. But then below it, in this box where it talks about what it is, it has the address of this computer company in South Dakota. It has that it's $80,000 worth of like chips or something, and it's going to cost $23,000 of duties and whatnot. And then they sent the bill to me. Okay, so you would think, okay, well, this is pretty easy to fix, right? I mean, you can obviously see that it's wrong, that I'm not this company that's like Dakota Labs or something like that. I can't remember what the name of it was. And it's like my address, and I'm importing car parts, not, like microchips and things. But it was not that easy, okay? I got phone calls from FedEx. You need to pay this $23,000 right now. You need to pay this now. And if you don't pay it, right, I mean, that's your obligation to pay it. And you need to pay it right now, and then, we'll work getting this resolved. Like I said, this took like 3 months to get resolved. Okay? And I would hate to have had $23,000 tied up in this thing of just somebody typing information wrong into a computer. And so it went on for months. I got a message finally after I tried to get a hold of my FedEx, representative guys. They were kind of like, yeah, we can't really do nothing for you. I'm like, really? Like, yeah. One guy was like, yeah, you know what? I'll start the appeals process. So I got an email from this lady who's part of the appeals process. She's like, Mr. Wilford, first of all, number one, you need to pay this $23,000. I'm like, I don't owe $23,000, and I don't even have $23,000 just sitting there that I can just give you because you guys made a mistake. And like the whole time, like they made it like this was my responsibility, this is my mistake, this is something on me. And believe me, it totally was not. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. The company that I bought the parts from, they didn't do nothing wrong. The person that did something wrong was the customs agent, and he typed some things in wrong, and it caused all of these problems. So she's like, so in order to start the appeals process, you need to give us a $90 fee for the appeals process. You need to give us a $90 fee for that, and then we can begin it. I'm like, and pay the $23,000, and then we can begin it. I'm like, I don't think so. Like, why am I paying you any $90? I'm like, the actual cost of the customs for that order was $60. Okay, I mean, it didn't take a rocket scientist to calculate it. I'm like, the cost of the customs was $60. I'm like, I'm not paying you $90 just to appeal it. I'm not paying you $23,000. Okay, so she acted like I had to pay the $90, and she's like, I'll talk to my supervisor. Maybe you won't have to pay that. I'm like, yeah, that would be good. So as far as I know, again, I don't even know if I've gotten the final bill for this yet, because I've been paying all my stuff separately now. Okay, this is the moral of the story. Okay, importing things, right? Sometimes people call me, they're like, Ken, I need so and so, and I'm like, well, I can get it, but it's going to take a couple of weeks, and blah blah. I'll just get it from this place myself, from Europe. Okay, it's not worth it. Okay, it's not worth it, believe me, because this could happen to you very easily. That you do this, and then they screw up your paperwork, and you're going to be paying, you got a big charge on your card. Okay, because again, I had it set up to auto set. Now, it's not set up to auto pay anymore. Okay, that's my advice. If you're going to be importing things from Europe, you're using FedEx for that, you cannot have your card on file with them. Because, like I said, they would have charged me this money, and then this money would have been tied up for months. So finally, after multiple months, I had to go through, and the lady put me through the mill. I spent probably like 6 to 8 hours of my time going over this customs forms. I had to have pictures of every part. Okay, I had to have a description of every part, which I had that. I had to have a duty number for every part, which I thought I had that. I had to have where it was manufactured and all this other information. A lot of this stuff was, they already had in the paperwork and stuff, but I had to do it all over and start all over from the beginning. And we went back and forth, and it got so bad because she would send me, okay, I need this, 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 and this. I would do some of it, and I would fill in the tariff codes and things that I thought it was, and then she'd be like, no, that's wrong. It should be this tariff code instead. I'm like sitting there thinking, I know, because I am not a customs agent. You are a customs agent. Why don't you fill out all of these tariff codes that you know what they should be? Because I'm telling you, she corrected almost every single one that I did. She would say, no, it's this, and she would highlight it and send me a little picture of it out of this book and highlight it so that I would be able to see it. And I'm sitting there going, why are you even doing this? Why don't you just fix it and it could have been done in like a day? But instead it took weeks and weeks, back and forth. She went on vacation, then she came back. I keep getting emails about, please, Mr. Wilford, you only have so many days to appeal this, blah, 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 blah. And so, in the midst of all this, guess what? I get a thing from FedEx, paperwork, a bill that, a late fee for the $23,000 of like $1,700 late fee, which now just, coincidentally makes the entire charge now $25,000 even. Okay, so unless it wasn't enough to insult me by trying to make me feel like some kind of a villain, and I'm not paying them their $23,000, which I don't owe, then they tack on a late fee to make it just $25,000 straight up. Okay, and you know what? I'm like, hey, you know what? Make it $1 million. Whatever. I don't really care because I don't even owe you any of it except for $60. I mean, if you want that, I'll give that to you. So, like I said, this situation just went on and on and on and on and on. I am trying to remember exactly when it got fully resolved. I would say sometime in June. So you see, I was in Belize in March. To see how long of a process this was. And I spent 6 to 8 hours on this. Again, nothing was my fault. All 100% this customs agent and FedEx's fault. Okay. And now, as far as I know, I even talked to my lawyer. I said, what can I bill them for my time? I mean, spending 6 to 8 hours doing something, right? That's time I could use to be working. That's time I could be live streaming with you guys. Right? Anything is better than looking at, tariff things and trying to figure out what a pop-top seal tariff number is and all that stuff. And then my lawyer's like, hey, as long as they're trying to resolve this, you can't sue them. But if you say anything about this, they could sue you for, saying, bad stuff about them online and all sorts of stuff. I'm like, I said, well, they're like, you have to have proof of everything you say. I'm like, oh, I have documentation, believe me. So that's why I am saying it today. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is, if you're dealing with importing, okay, one of the things you have to deal with is customs. And it's gotten a lot harder. Okay? It's gotten a lot harder. I got an email from the people saying that, if you send something out, like say I'm shipping something to Canada, it needs to have the duty tariff number on it. If it does not have the tariff thing on it, it could get returned now because they're cracking down on that. And then on the inward side, it's just a nightmare. Some of these companies, they send out a paper that has all these tariff codes and duty codes on it. But then, like, some of the European ones are different than the American ones, and you can look up online, like cross-reference them and figure out what it is, which I would think would be the entire job of a customs and duties agent. But apparently not. Apparently it's your job as the person bringing it in or the person shipping it to you, and to be like harassed and whatnot. So yeah, harmonization numbers. That's right. They want you to have those harmonized tariff codes now. If you don't have them, you could have major problems and issues. So, Mike says, looked into working with a freight forwarder. Depending on how much you're importing, it might be helpful. I mean, I've thought about that. I don't really know anybody. And again, I'm trying to keep the shipments as lean as possible as far as the shipping costs, which again have been going up, bringing stuff in. Because, anything that I had to do that way, I had to pass it on to you guys. And so I'm trying to keep it as low as possible. But it's not easy. Okay, so my advice on, doing that stuff is avoid it if you can. Instead, ask me, hey, I see something on this one website. I'm very interested in it. It's in England or it's in France or it's somewhere like that. I could probably try to get it for you. Some of the places, I'll tell you, are very hard to deal with. Okay, I just tried a new place in England last few weeks. They don't communicate. I even tried to call them on the phone. Okay, I'm not going to say who it is. I tried to call this one company on the phone because I had placed an order, and it's just like, man, they wouldn't pick up, and went to voicemail. Trying to Facebook message them, email them, and they just took days to respond. Okay, I mean, this time of year, Europe, everybody goes on vacation, and so the best thing to do is to just try to ask me, because I've did this a million times. Okay, and yeah, I'll have to look in that pirate ship. I use a thing right now called ShipRush that I've been using for years. It's integrated into our website, and it gives me good rates and everything. But I've heard about Pirate Ship. I might look into them the next time I upgrade the website and stuff, and just see if it's worth changing to. But that's my rant on that situation with FedEx. Again, if you are going to try to deal with them and importing things, do not put a credit card on file with them. Instead, just wait. You're going to get a bill for the customs amount, and then just pay it, with your card just individually, because having a card on file with them is just a terrible plan apparently, and they're gonna hose you. All right, so does anybody else have any questions about Vanagons? I'm just trying to think if there's anything exciting going on this week in the Vanagon world. Of course, I get people calling me all the time. I had some people this week that were broken down on the side of the road. They needed help right away. I tried to help them over the phone. One guy was having a problem with I think it was a problem with the refrigerator relay. Maybe it was messing up his alternator and stopping it from working. So, like, the refrigerator relay for the Westies is actually integrated into, the blue line that goes to the alternator, and I'm wondering if that was what was causing his alternator, because his alternator stopped working. He was on a trip from Canada down to New York, and I was trying to help him over the phone, but he really didn't have any electrical knowledge whatsoever. So he decided to leave his van and just rent a car and finish his trip. I said, that sounds like a good idea. Let mechanics look at it. So Steve said there's the Great Canadian VW show this weekend. That sounds like fun. I've heard the Canadian VW shows are really, really big. I went to that one in Florida back last fall. That was pretty big, but that's the biggest one on the East Coast. That's not as big as the ones on the West Coast. And then the Canadian one I've heard is really massive, like 1,000 Westies show up. I mean, it's pretty nuts. So, yep, there's that going on. I'm trying to think anything else going on. Oh, so I don't know if you guys know about the brake booster situation with the Vanagon. that has been kind of a problem for the last couple years, and I've been trying to deal with it the best I can. The new units, they stopped making them. Then like a handful came out right after the pandemic, and I thought, oh great, they're making them again. Then they stopped again. And so what I've been doing lately is I have like 2 cores, and I send them in and have them rebuilt by this company out in California. That's been working out okay, but I would like to get some new ones, and I just found a supplier in Europe that is claiming that they have brand new boosters that's being made in Europe, but it's not ATE, it's like aftermarket. So I may get a couple of them and just see what they're like, if I can buy them from this company. I've bought from this company before. They're kind of a pain in the butt, but we'll see how that works out. Steve said I have to also unstick my front caliper. It's cool enough to look at them today. Yeah, that's always good. Calipers is bad when they're sitting. They'll get stuck. Yep. Boosters are kind of a problem right now. So like I try to keep a couple on the shelf, but right now I'm out. My booster people that's been repairing for me, they moved and they didn't tell me, and so I had one booster that was supposed to be going to their place, and I did get a notification because I have the UPS thing I'm telling you guys about that notifies you and tells you about your packages and tracks your packages for you. Then you know that it told me, oh, it was tempted to be delivered and it didn't get delivered. And so I talked to the guy. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, we moved to a new address. So I tried to do this thing, and customers asked me to do this before. It never works. UPS has a service, $17. You can redirect packages. Okay, and you know when you redirect a package, it costs $17. So I tried it on that package. They tried to deliver it to this place, didn't work. They should have normally tried to deliver it like 3 times, but they tried it once, and then they, you know, it didn't work. So I did the redirect. Well, guess what? It came back here. Okay, and then somebody sent back their other booster core. So now both booster cores was back here, and I had to turn around and send them both back to California. So if anybody needs a brake booster, yeah, let me know. I can get it rebuilt for you, and I charge money for that, but that's because people charge me money. Yep. So getting boosters is kind of a problem. If I can try to get some new ones, I will get them, and I'll let you guys know. The pricing on it is going to be up there. It's probably going to be like $600 by the time I pay for these things and get them here and all that stuff. It's not going to be cheap, but if it's brand new, I would say that's worth it versus a rebuilt one. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, Steven, if you have 2 spare boosters, you could get both of them rebuilt, or you could get one of them rebuilt and maybe send me the other one. Oh, I'll give you some core money or something on that. So one of the parts that we advertise in one of our last flyers is the glove box light, and that has become super popular. And the bad part was I only had about less than 10 to sell. Maybe I had 10 to sell. And so yeah, I'm getting a bunch more. I'm getting 20 more of these glove box lights from the actual manufacturer. So yeah, I'm just letting you guys know I got stuff coming. That's a brand new part that just got being reproduced after not being made for a long time. The price is good. I think it's on my site for like $29.95, which is actually a good price for that. I know it sounds high, but it's a better price than the last time you could buy the thing from the dealer. It even comes with a new bulb, which I thought was kind of nice. You know, why not, right? Throw that in there. So glove box lights. Steve always wants to know about, you know, products that's getting made. Now his van, I don't think had a glove box light because it's too old, and that kind of thing. But you know, that's one of the things. I'm still trying to fight with alternators and starters. I talked to you guys about this in the last stream, that alternators and starters. Oh, you know what? Another thing that Bosch has discontinued that I didn't even think about. So I had this long rant last time about Bosch discontinuing things, is coils. Okay, so coils, Bosch basically stopped making them about a year ago. So what I'm getting now is JP Group. Okay, JP Group coils. So far, I mean, they've been great, and the only difference between them and the OEM ones is that they are black, and I think the OEM ones were silver, the last Bosch ones I was getting. But, guys, we are living in a post-Bosch era in the Vanagon world. Okay? We're living in a post-Bosch era. We just need to get over it and move on with our lives, because, Bosch is dumping us. It's been a good run all these years. They waited for the kids to graduate, to go to college, and now the kids are out of college. They're into medical. They're into their new lives. And Bosch turned to us one day at the breakfast table and said, "I don't love you anymore." It was a sad day. I cried. It was very sad. Okay, but this is where we are. Okay, let's just be honest with it. Let's face the facts. Okay, Bosch is divorcing us, and they're taking, all their toys with them. So we need to stop moping about it. We need to stop, sitting around in our bathrobe and not going outside. Instead, embrace our new best friend, which is the aftermarket. Okay. Like I said, our new best friend is pretty much a JP Group. Now, I know some people don't like JP Group. They have things against them. But to be honest with you, these guys have been around for a long time. Okay, they have been making aftermarket parts for many, many years. I hesitate to buy a whole bunch of these boosters. Why? Because I will almost bet you money that in the next 6 months to a year, JP Group is going to start popping out boosters that they have made as a aftermarket part. Okay? Why do I say that? Because that's what they've been doing. They see that Bosch or Ate or whatever is dropping things, and they step in. Okay? They step in. And so, I feel like that is a great path forward. As long as the quality of their products are good, right? Then why not? Okay, so, but, like I said, I deal with this with customers all the time. Like, Ken, I need a new starter, I need a new alternator, and it has to be Bosch. I need, this or that, it has to be Bosch. And it's like, I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry, but they've divorced us. There's nothing I can do about it. I tried to get them back, but they said, sorry, but we've moved on with our lives. Now we're into, like I said, they've moved on to their new lover, who is, electric cars. That's their new hot girlfriend, electric cars. I wish them the best, with their new hot girlfriend, electric cars, or new hot boyfriend. I don't want to get too effeminate on myself. That's their new hotness, and I wish them the best on that. Okay, they have come up through the years being a source of fuel injection, a source of engine control management systems, a source of all these things. All those things are going to be gone, sadly, with the electric car. So do I have a lot of hope for Bosch and what they're doing? They're going to struggle. They're going to be struggling. But you know what? They've moved on with their lives. We can move on with our life. Alright, so German Metal Mania is interrupting my rant with an actual question. He says, on the Autotran, which side is the short axle on? Alright, so, on the automatic transmission of the Vanagon, the two CV joints, there's two CV axle assemblies are actually different lengths. On the left side, which is driver's side, rear, it is 20.5 inches. Okay, so I have that on my website, that you can look at that information. Okay, so that's the left side. That is 20.5 inches. Okay, on the right side, it is 22.32 inches. Okay, so on the left side, it is shorter than the right side. Boom, nailed it. And so, and right side is passenger. So there you go. And this information is on my website. If you click on there and look at axles, it will bring up that information right below the description as part of the description of it, so that you can get out a measuring tape and measure your stuff up and know exactly what you need. Okay, and again, this all comes from people buying stuff off of me and asking that exact question. Okay, so hopefully that helps you out, German Metal Mania. And he sounds like a cool dude. I don't know if I've had him on here before, but he's got an upside down red Volkswagen logo, so that's good. Alright, let me get off of here. One last rant for you guys. Okay, not sure how you feel about the Volkswagen ID buzz. Some people are extremely buzzed about it. I need to like that. Some people are like, eh. Some people are like, I am going to buy it the second it comes out and have it and love it. Oh, Fiveable says hi. Good to see him on here. And he's one of our members. Thank you for being a member so much. But so Volkswagen ID Buzz is coming out eventually sometime one day. Okay, so the Volkswagen ID Buzz is scheduled to come out now in 2024. Okay, 2024. I have actually seen some, I don't know what you want to call them, actual things of it. Okay, so they actually have some prototypes out there with the extended wheelbase. So it's going to be 1 foot longer than the German version. It's also going to have like 3 rows instead of 2 rows, which the German version only has 2 rows. Okay, and it's going to have this kind of cool little windowy poo thing that's inside another window. So I guess because you have 3 rows, you need to have like a window that actually opens. So they have this little window. That's kind of going to be how you're going to be able to tell the difference just by looking at it. Besides the fact that it's 1 foot longer, you can kind of see, if you see what it looks like in the European version and the new version, American version, you can kind of see the sliding door is longer. Okay, so you can kind of notice that. But then there's like this little windowy poo inside the big window on the sides. Okay, and they're electrically controlled. They can open and close. I guess just so you can, like, say, look out and say hi to people, or maybe they can pass you things. I don't know. So 2024. Okay, so in other words, get excited if you're excited about it, but you know it's still getting put off into the future. What else is new, right? This has been getting put off into the future since 2017. Let's do some math. So that's 3 plus 4, 7 years. Okay. After they said it was going to come out, it's only coming out 7 years later. Then on top of that, so let's do some more math. So one of the big problems you have with electric vehicles, or one of the big issues, I want to say, is weight. Okay, weight, and you have to balance weight, you know, versus like how much the car weighs versus how much there you have to use. Okay, so one of the cool parts about a Vanagon, as you guys know, or a bus, is that there is this balance. Okay, where you have this, you know, weight of the car, and then also how much weight of things you can use inside the car to transport the car before the car becomes, you know, too heavy, right? It becomes dangerous to drive it and get around and do things because it's so heavy. Okay, and one of the things that people don't talk about with electric cars is the fact that they're very, very heavy. Okay, the batteries are heavy, and it is aware tires. Okay, so if you want to go into a car business that is future-proof, okay, future-proof. If you go to Napa, if you go to AutoZone, Advance Auto, I mean, everybody there is really scared right now because what's going to happen in 10 years, 20 years down the road? Most likely, a lot of them places are going to be out of business because their big volume of parts is going to. Okay, but if you had a tire store, you're putting your bib on, and you're getting ready to just chow down because electric cars do not like tires. They will burn through tires 20,000 miles. Okay, some of them, the tires are over. Okay, so what about the ID Buzz? You're like, Ken, why are you ranting about this? All right, ID Buzz. So some people are really excited about this, and one of the excitement things is to camperize it, right? To camperize it. That's what everybody wants. Like, let's just jump to the end of the story, right? Let's just jump to what everybody actually wants, right? They want an electric VW bus so that their dream can come true, that they're going to get this car. They don't have a motor. They don't have a transmission. I have all these problems and issues, right, that we have to deal with. Electrical gas system, fuel system, all this stuff that we have to deal with that can cause problems and issues. Instead, it's going to be just an electric car, like their cell phone. They charge it up at night. They wake up in the morning. They hop in, and they just have fun and enjoy it and have a great time. Okay? I mean, I would love that. That sounds like an amazing situation. But here is the big problem. Okay? And I'm going to be done soon. Don't stay with me just for a few more minutes. Because the car's electric, and because it's so heavy, okay, camperizing it is pretty much not a thing. Okay, it would make it too heavy. Okay, it would make it so that it's it's dangerous, because if you put all this extra weight of a camper conversion on it, yeah, you're going to overload it. Okay, so let me know what you guys think about that. Are you excited about the ID Buzz? Are you not excited? Some people I know, if they could buy it, put a deposit on it today, they would put a deposit on it today and buy it. But at the end of the day, another downer, okay, is it's so heavy. It's not going to be able to be easily camperized. I mean, maybe somebody can come up with something that's super light. Just have a pop top, have like this super light air mattress thing for the back, just to try to be able to do some camping with it. I mean, that probably would work, okay? But as far as a full camper with a stove and a kitchen thing and some water and this and that, I mean, by the time you add all that stuff, it's going to overload the car. Okay. I mean, again, with electric cars, anything you do to weigh it down more, you're going to wind up with less range. You're going to wind up with, you're going to cut down your range. I mean, you see what's happening with the Ford F-150 Lightnings. If you tow anything with it, you might as well, cutting your range in half. Turn on the heat, cutting down your range. Turn on the AC, cuts down the range. A funny story about the F-150 Lightning is in the owner's manual. It tells people in the wintertime, if you use your heat, it's going to significantly impact your range. So, what the recommendation, and this is in the owner's manual, get a blanket and wrap it around yourself in the wintertime. I am not kidding. Okay? If you told somebody that owned a 67 Volkswagen bus that in the wintertime, right, they needed to wrap a blanket around themselves and to deal with the winter, they would say, yeah, I can see that. I understand. This is a limitation of this, ancient car and the terrible heating system and all that stuff. Put a blanket around myself, I get it. But a brand new state-of-the-art Ford F-150 Lightning that is electric, that has all kinds of gadgets, fancy gadgets and things on it, and then they're going to tell you that in the wintertime you shouldn't use your heater, instead wrap a blanket around yourself. And this is a car you spent $75,000, $80,000 for. Yeah, pretty much, Steve. It's the same instructions as an air-cooled van without the booster heater. Maybe, maybe in the future they'll have an add-on for the F-150 Lightning, which is, a gas or diesel-fired. You can buy one of those diesel Chinese heaters off of eBay, and just do a little retrofit into the heating system of the car. That way you got heat in the wintertime. I mean, that makes perfect sense, right? So anyway, I mean, that's my rant on that. But so the dreams of the electric future of the ID Buzz are coming down to reality. Okay, reality is it's going to be really expensive. Okay, most likely for at least 2 or 3 years after it comes out, it's going to be all sold out, and people are going to be thinking buying them, speculation, and flipping them for more money and all that garbage. So like regular people ain't gonna be able to get one. And then after all that dies down, you're gonna see that they're gonna be sitting on lots, okay, and not selling, which is what's starting to happen now to all the other electric cars, okay, because again the absorption point has been met. Everybody who wanted one has bought one. Now people that are looking just at cars in general and saying, I need a car to go back and forth to work, I need a car to take a road trip, they're looking at that and going, I need a gas car because I can't have a road trip where I spend like 5 extra hours charging this thing or trying to worry about chargers, all this other stupid stuff. Yep, we're not there yet, guys. I'm guesstimating we're not going to actually be to our beautiful electric car future for like another 20 years. Okay, so for most of us on this list of things, that means that we're good. We're good. We're going to be old, so old that we don't really care anymore at that point. And after that point, there's still going to be people that want Vanagons as collectors or whatever. So I think we're still in good shape. It's hard. I'm an early adopter. I don't have an electric car. I've thought about it. I've looked into it. There just isn't enough of an upside for me. It was even a little bit of an upside when the electricity rate was low, and you're like, oh, that's this is cheaper than gas. But now the electric rates are going up. The charging station things, they're high, so you actually spend more money charging than you do at a gas station. How does this make sense to anybody right now? They really don't. They need to make the cars even more efficient. They need to make the batteries lighter so the car isn't heavy. That would help a ton. And have more range. And these are all things that are possible, but the cars we have now, this isn't a thing. Okay, they're too heavy. Batteries still aren't there yet, and the charging systems are slow, and America is a big place. Okay, so I guess that's my rants for today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like, share, subscribe. Liking is a big thing because it costs you no money. It takes you 2 seconds with your little finger to push the like button, and then when you do that, this gets pushed out into YouTube so that people get to watch it and hear it. Okay, so please help out with that. So alright guys, so I'm going to let you guys go. Have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy it. If you need Vanagon for anything, please let us know. Don't call me as soon as this is over. Just email me. That's cool. That's good. Because I'm going to be, it's like 5 o'clock my time, so I'm basically going to call it a day and rest my yapper and try to enjoy the weather. Okay? So have a great time, guys. We'll see you guys on the next video. Talk to you later on.